on the 1 yard line with their backs against the wall. This ain't a game to me. If you think it's a game, get the f*** off of this bus. Look at this. Oh, they're rushing the field.
Hello, everybody. Welcome one, welcome all, and welcome back to the Bleav in Iowa State podcast. I'm your host, Tyler Carter.
And I'm your host, Cody Van Silem.
Cody, welcome back to the show. It's been a week plus since we had that. We had a recap of the Big 12 tournament. I think with this coverage, it'd be better to go game by game. And I also just had a great time down there with a few of my friends that me and them went.
For sure.
I'm not gonna lie to you. Going into that, yeah, and I had some great barbecue. A Power and Light was lit, and going into that first game, Cody, I was sort of nervous, especially since we played Arizona State the week previous. I was wondering if they were going to hold up and have any type of resistance. That was not the case, as Iowa State beat them soundly, 9-42.
Yeah. In this game, I mean, this was a continuation of that second half we had against, aforementioned Arizona State. And I mean, what Iowa State was able to do, they did what got them really a lot of success. High pressure on the ball, turning teams over and getting out in transition. And Iowa State won the game 91-42. And I mean, there was a point in time where Arizona State, they had more turnovers than they had points scored. And I mean, that was just a good thing to see from Iowa State, because we wanted to see like if they can sustain that for a couple games. And to their credit, they absolutely did. And Iowa State did exactly what they wanted to do. They asserted themselves. They set the tone in that game as soon as it tipped off, and they never let Arizona State into the game.
Yeah, and like everybody was basically in this game was in double figures.
Yeah.
Blake Buchanan had 17 points. Joshua Jefferson had 20 and 12. I believe Plata had like about 15 points in this game too. So everyone was going off in this game.
Yeah. Looking at the box score, Joshua Jefferson did finish with a double-double, 20 points and 12 rebounds, and he was basically doing everything for Iowa State. I mean, that's exactly what you want out of your All-American. And I think, what was it, prior to the game, Joshua Jefferson was named to first-team All-American by the Sporting News, which is one of the major news publishers, so very accredited sports like kind of thing. I don't know the exact term for it, but it's like a
sports publication. Yeah.
So double-double. Went 8 of 13 from the field, 3 of 4 from the free throw line. And yeah, that double-double was really good to see. Milan Momcilovic, 4 of 8 from 3, so got back to kind of like his game. Like, he's at his best when he's shooting the 3 ball, and I mean, he got a lot of good looks. Went 5 of 7 for the free throw line. You mentioned downplayed it. Only 4 points in this game, but he was like effective. Like, he was an effective second big for Iowa State. Blake Buchanan, 17.6 rebounds. Tamin Lipsey knocked down 3 threes in this game, which I said, if Iowa State's going to go far, they need to have their guards shoot enough threes, like make a couple threes, and Tamin Lipsey did exactly that, along with Jamarian Bateman, who made a 3 as well. So this is Iowa State at its absolute best. And it's something about Iowa State playing Arizona State that frustrates Arizona State, because I think 3 technical fouls were called on Arizona State in this game.
Yeah, and I believe that Bobby Hurley was able to get a technical in this game as well.
Yep, he got a technical. I believe Pig Johnston got one, and then Jop got one as well.
Yes, I was there for that one. Basically, everybody was egging on Bobby to get a foul. It was the funniest thing ever.
I mean, it was a literal continuation of what we did to him in Ames, literally like a few days ago prior to this game. And also, speaking of Arizona State, Mo Odom definitely was eating his words after this game, because in the press conference yesterday about this game, when he was asked about Iowa State's defense, and this is quoting something from Alec Bussey of 24/7 Sports, he got a video. Mo Odom, in short, like paraphrasing it, of course, basically said that Iowa State's defense was not a challenge. Speaking of Mo Odom,
Yeah, I saw that. I'm like, oh, he's gonna eat those words.
yeah, Mo Odom finished this game with 29 minutes, 2 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, 1 of 6 from the field, 0 of 5 from three, three turnovers, and he fouled out of the game.
Yeah, it was glorious to watch that. After what he said, I was like, oh, he's definitely gonna eat these
Yeah.
words.
Oh, and I mean that's not the only thing that went wrong for Arizona State. Do you want to guess their 3-point shooting percentage?
I Bleav it was in the second digit. It was like 6%.
5%.
Good lord.
The only thing that went well for them were for their free throws. Went 11 to 12, so 92% for the free throw line. The problem is they had 23 turnovers again. So that's 46 turnovers in 2 games against Iowa State.
Gosh, those are just that's insane.
Yeah, and I guess yeah, so I mean that was an absolute drubbing that Iowa State put on to Arizona State, and that was a good sign to see how we would look, and especially on that new court or whatever, the glass court that they had, because I Bleav that, what was it, the day before, Tay Melissa said he felt fine, but he was slipping and sliding all over the place. I thought he was going to tear his groin again. I thought he was going to injure that again. We'll get to more of like the court related things when we talk about the Texas Tech game, but I guess real quick, just give a recap of the first round games. These really didn't have too much impact on Iowa State outside of Arizona State, Baylor. So Baylor lost to Arizona State. Cincinnati beat Utah. YU put 105 on Kansas State, and Oklahoma State beat Colorado. So I mean that was your first round. I didn't really take too much away from it, but hey, you know what? For those teams that won, it gave them an extra day to have a chance to maybe make the NCAA tournament to win the auto bid. But we go to the second round outside of Iowa State's game. UCF squeaked by 1 point against Cincinnati. So, I mean, that game was essentially a playing game for the NCAA tournament because both teams were on different sides of the bubble. I Bleav UCF was on the outside looking in and vice versa for Cincinnati.
Yes, and me and Cole and I were there, and our other friend, Wasabi, all three of us went, and this game was directly after the Iowa State Texas Tech game. Cincinnati was up basically for most of the entire game, and UCF fought back to tie it right before the clock ran out in the second half, and they ended up winning in overtime. It was a great game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so had that, and then BYU took care of West Virginia, so they're on a bit of a run. TCU beat Oklahoma State, so they moved on to the quarterfinals, and in the quarterfinals, we had a mixed bag of things that happened. We had Houston and BYU kind of go wider wire. The spread was -10.5 or -9.5 favor of Houston, but BYU kept it competitive. TCU was very competitive against Kansas, and Kansas squeaked by TCU 78-73. Arizona just blew the doors off of UCF as a number 1 seed should do, and then Iowa State does get a measure of revenge against Texas Tech. They beat the Red Raiders 75-53, and I mean this is exactly what you wanted for a revenge game if you were Iowa State.
Yes, basically, I look. If you watch the beginning of this game, it was basically, oh no, here we go again. Iowa State started this game down 13-2. I Bleav they started off 3 of 6 from three. They hit 3 threes in the first 4 minutes. When they were down at the under 4, they were down 13-2, and I was like, man, here we go again with this BS. I'm like, we didn't learn from this again. Mm-hmm. And for the rest of that game, Iowa State went on I'll say they probably went on, I'll say a 73 to, I think 40. It was like a 70, like 60 something to, yeah.
40, yeah. After that 13-2 start for Texas Tech and TJ Altenberger, it was a media timeout. I mean, I think the Iowa State, the difference was they were able to to survive that storm. What they didn't do in Hilton, they did here in Kansas City. They responded to that 13-2 run from Texas Tech with a 15-2 run in the middle of the first half.
Yes,
and then it wasn't. But then they basically, for a stretch from the end of the first half, midway into the second half, they held Texas Tech to 10 points. They locked down defensively, and they just poured it all over the Red Raiders, the 3-point shooting, the 3-point shooting was there for Iowa State. So we were able to match Texas Tech shooting, but we also were able to get inside. Don Plata and Blake Buchanan combined for 20 points in the paint. And I think that was one thing we were missing from the game in Hilton Coliseum was getting inside the paint. And Joshua Jefferson was able to do that too. He had 18 points in this game. Don Plata with 11, and Blake Buchanan with 9. But the star of this game to me was Tamin Lipsey.
Yes, 4 of 7 from 3, 8 of 12 overall. He was definitely feeling it, and this game, Torrey. I think this is the game that Torrey really found something. Obviously, he had 21 minutes in this game, 2 points, and once he was definitely playing defense. He stuck with
Christian Anderson.
He stuck with Christian Anderson the entire game.
Mm-hmm.
He stuck like glue. It was very impressive to watch in person.
Sure. Yeah. Another freshman at the shout out to Jamarian Bateman, 2 of 3 from 3.
Yeah.
And I mean, this was a really quiet game for Milan. Only 5 points in this game, 2 of 8 from the field, 1 of 6 from 3. And you would think, if he had only, imagine telling someone that Milan Momcilovic only scored 5 points. Just give him that. Just tell him that Milan Momcilovic went 1 of 6 from 3. You would have thought our 3-point shooting was like as bad as the Arizona game in Tucson. But we had somebody step up, and Tamin Lipsey did that job. And that's what I wanted to see, is see the guards improve their play. And they did exactly that. So really nice to see. And I mean, I alluded to this earlier. I mean, Texas Tech, they lost this game, but they lost more than just this game, because boy, oh boy, they got hit with the injury bug in this game.
Yeah. I believe Christian Anderson went out with a groin injury.
Yeah. Him, Lawan Watts, and I think it was Jalen Petty. Well, somebody, actually, it might have been Ben Boyer or somebody, because Texas Tech, by the end of this game, had 3 guys leave due to injury. And I think it all happened, did it all happen within a 2-minute span?
Yes.
So, and I mean,
it was nuts, man. I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah, and I mean, Christian Anderson, if he's out for this, it's one thing to deal with JT Toppin being out, and they were able to find a way to win, but you cannot lose Christian Anderson if you're Texas Tech.
Yeah, no, it's true. I did see today that he is cleared, so he will be cleared for the tournament.
Yep.
So they got him back, so they're ready, tournament ready.
Yeah, and I mean, so I mean, that Thursday was fun. You started off with Iowa State taking care of Texas Tech. You had Arizona just drub UCF. BYU lost a tight game to Houston, and then Kansas squeaks out with the win against TCU. So TCU is a dangerous team to look out for in the tournament, because they made it as a 9 seed. So potentially look out for them. So we go from the quarterfinals to the semifinals. Stop me if you heard this. If you've heard this before. Arizona beats Iowa State on a buzzer beater shot.
Yeah, I mean, and a guy that struggles from 3 has a career night from 3.
I mean,
it never fails, man.
Yeah, I mean, he and Milan, this game was literally just Anthony Delorso versus Milan Momcilovic, because Delorso did go 6 of 9 from 3, but Milan responded. He went 8 of 14 from 3. So those two were just going back and forth like two heavyweights in the ring, fighting for the World Heavyweight Championship.
It was a beautiful basketball game to watch, because you remember in this game, Iowa State started off hot and was playing excellent defense with a 14-2 lead after the first time out.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, the things that Iowa State, they made shots in this game. That's the thing. They didn't make shots in Tucson, but they played their defense. So you knew that if Iowa State could just get those shots to fall, then they'd be in this game. And they certainly were. And this was a back and forth game. Arizona went on a run towards the end of the first half, but then Milan Momcilovic by himself goes on a 9-0 run, including a 1-foot buzzer beater 3 at the end of the first half. And that was a thing of beauty. And I'm telling you, I bet you somewhere Jaden Bradley saw that and he's like, all right, say less.
Yeah, man. I'll tell you, man. I was in the Power and Light watching the game, and it was littered with Iowa State fans everywhere. Yeah. I was going absolutely nuts in there. Dude, yeah. What an experience.
Yeah, I mean, the Delorso, yeah. I remember he was a sharpshooter for a time. Obviously, he hadn't done this year, but he stepped up to the plate. So I got to give him credit and this Arizona team, because Iowa State was able to do it, and the ending to this game was the I dare say it was the equivalent to the ending of the UNC Villanova national championship game.
It exactly was that.
Because North Carolina hit a three to tie the game like Taman Lipsey did, and that was a beautiful three. Unfortunately, it gets overshadowed because of another shot to win the game. Chris Jenkins equals Jaden Bradley, and I'm just like, you know what? I mean, looking at that play itself, there's nothing else Killian Torrey could have done. He played about as good a defense as you possibly could on that shot. I mean, that's probably a reason. Like that's a reason why he won Big 12 Player of the Year. Is moments like that. He made a shot.
Definitely. He
So,
did.
I mean,
And I think, I'll tell you this, Cody. The story of this game was Killian Torrey getting his confidence back.
mhm.
2 of 3 from 3, 5 of 9 overall with 12 points in 27 minutes. Gave some quality minutes. I think the difference in this game was that we had no bench points. Dominicus played and Blake Buchanan were in foul trouble the entire game.
Yeah,
They got the bigs in foul trouble from the beginning, both with 4 fouls each. Jamarian Bateman 0 of 2, 0 points, and the only bench production we got was Nate Heisey with 3 points.
yeah. I mean, you had the load carried by Milo Motilovich and Joshua Jefferson because Joshua Jefferson he had 21 points. He went 3 of 7 from three. So I mean, this is just a back and forth game, and I mean something about Iowa State this year having played in probably two of the best games in the Big 12. Big Monday against Houston, and then in Kansas City against Arizona. And
Yeah,
I think my takeaway from this game, yeah, I was frustrated we lost once again to a buzzer beater shot, but I think I came away from this game like, all right, I like our chances. I think this gave me more confidence that we can go on a deep run in March, if you ask me. Because the fact that we made our shots, we were competitive against a one seed. Like Arizona is a one seed for a reason. They're just on a whole nother level compared to the
I
rest of the
mean, some
country.
may argue that they should be the number one overall seed at that. I
Yeah.
mean, we played them to the end, and I just think as a collective, as a fan base after the game, I don't really think a lot of people were sad that we lost this game. I think it just further confirmed to everybody that Iowa State
Yeah.
is a Final Four caliber
Yeah.
team.
I think we were all just more frustrated that we once again lost on a buzzer beater to Arizona. And
Yeah, that's
that's
exactly what it
that's
was.
gonna be the thing that irks me. It's like, what is up with us and constant like we have now lost them twice in 2 years to a buzzer beater shot. Yes, the Caleb Love shot sent it to overtime, but every Iowa State fan, everybody knew that once he made that shot, Arizona was winning that game. Like, there's no way they don't win that game after that shot.
Well, see, here's how I see it, man. Like I for sure thought that if we would have made it to overtime, that we definitely would have won
We
in
would have found a way
overtime.
to put away Arizona.
Yes.
We would have exercised those demons. But at last, Arizona just made the extra play, and they proved that. I mean, and they went on to the championship. And then this game was not competitive at all. Houston against Kansas. This game was not competitive.
Not at all. Houston wins.
Nice. And Houston, they shot like this is the shots for them. This is them from the field. They went 41% from the field, 79% from the free throw line, but 55% from three.
My goodness.
Remember we talked about like Houston like isn't usually a team that like really shoots the three ball.
Yeah.
Chris Senek Jr., Kingston Flemings, and Emmanuel Sharp were on point in this game. Both
They
Chris
sure
Senek
were.
Jr., Kingston Flemings 3 of 4 from three, Emmanuel Sharp 3 of 6 from three, and I mean they just could not be stopped from the perimeter, and Kansas could not answer at all. Darren Peterson ended this game with only 14. This was just outside of him, nobody from Kansas scored double-digit points.
Yeah, it was a struggle for KU, and basically, it's just been the story of this season. They've been consistently inconsistent. That
Yep.
I think that's just the story of KU this year.
Yeah. Yep, and then that set up the championship game again for Arizona against Houston, two relative newcomers to the conference, mind you, and they have officially taken over this conference. Arizona wins the Big 12 tournament title, 79-74. This game was never in doubt for Arizona. They held the lead at halftime, and they just never let up.
Yeah, although Houston had that amazing 14-0 run to bring it to within a basket, Arizona was able to pull away, and like you said, they are the regular season and tournament champions.
So they sweep the conference.
So they swept the conference. And as we go into Selection Sunday, which was yesterday,
Yep.
Arizona. As I share my screen, we are now going to go into our bracket breakdown. So
Yep.
this is what you guys have all been waiting for. Obviously, this is something what I've been waiting for. But here is a bracket for you. We're gonna just do our whole breakdown, region by region. First, we're gonna start on the top left corner as Duke, the number one overall seed, will start. Well, actually, let's look at the first four.
First four.
Actually,
Yep. So as mentioned, Tyler mentioned, Duke is the number one overall seed. They are in the East region. Arizona is the number two overall seed, and they're in the number one seed in the West. Michigan is the number three overall, and Florida gets that last number one seed. They are in the South. Michigan in the Midwest. But yeah, go to the first four. Real quick, these will be in Dayton, and I for some reason I just love watching these because I'm like, hey, you know what? This is March Madness basketball. I don't care. It's the first four. It's March. Once we get in here, I'm here for it. So in the first four, we have UMBC versus Howard. UMBC, I Bleav they won the America East Conference, if I remember that correctly.
yes.
And then Howard, which I can't remember which conference they won, but
Howard
they
is
won.
in the Howard's in the MEAC.
And so they won the MEAC. So both teams won their respective conference tournaments. So they are in the first four, and they will be taking so their matchup. I Bleav they will take on. So the winner of that game, if I look at my bracket,
The
I
winner
Bleav.
of UMBC Howard will play Michigan, and yeah,
So that game, I mean, I'm just excited for this one. I don't know if I really have that much stock in it, but you know what? I'm leaning UMBC. Can they do it again?
can they do it again? And once we get to that game, fun. I have a fun fact for when we talk about Virginia.
Yep. We and then going from left to right, Texas as the last team in will take on NC State. And the winner of that game, if I take a look, will take on BYU in the West region. Something about NC State, they just live to be an 11 seed. The last three tournaments they've been an 11 seed.
Yeah, it's
I
been
mean, hey,
pretty impressive by them.
I mean that's consistency. So I can respect that. But hey, you know what? If they can make it to the Final Four as an 11 seed, they're like, why not do it again?
Want to watch me do it again? That's exactly what I'm
Exactly.
saying.
Yep. And then the other 16 seed, that will be determined between Prairie View and Lehigh. The winner of that game will take on Florida. And then this one, a little bit of controversy for this one. Miami of Ohio, 31-1 on the year. Their only loss being in their conference tournament against UMass, takes on SMU in the first four. And then the winner of this game, let me see, we'll be facing up against, if I look you see it on there? Trying to see who they would face off.
Yeah, the winner will face off against.
I think it's in the Midwest. It's in the Midwest region, I Bleav. So they would be
It's
taking on.
Tennessee, the Volunteers, Tennessee.
Okay, so I mean that first four, maybe Miami will have maybe for them it's time to prove themselves. They do belong in the tournament, so you know what? A lot of controversy for them saying they were even playing the first four after the year that they had. But I mean, you know what? I mean, me personally, it's kind of messed up that they are in the first four. There shouldn't be a reason. Because, I mean, it's really impressive, regardless of who you play, to only have one loss in the year.
Well, I think what helps them is that VCU did not win the A10 because I Bleav if they would have won the A10, then
Miami of
they
Ohio would have
wouldn't
been
have
knocked
made.
out.
Yes, which is insane to me.
Yeah. Because, so, I mean, that's crazy in itself. But they are technically in the tournament. So they were in the tournament. I'm taking a look at who did. Yeah, let's see. VCU. Oh yeah, VCU did. No, they did win the A10.
Oh yeah, I think I Bleav if Dayton would have won the Big Ten, then they
The
wouldn't
A10.
have made it.
Yeah.
Yeah, if
Wait,
Dayton would have
Dayton
made
to Dayton to the Big Ten. We're starting the campaign.
it.
Might have to kick out Penn State at this point.
And
But
have
yeah,
them be what's his
the
name again?
A10 in basketball. Yeah, but that's the first four. I mean, we can start in the East region. Number one Duke would take on Siena. Ohio State's the 8th seed will take on number 9 TCU. Number 5 St. John's, the Big East champions, will take on the Missouri Valley champions, Northern Iowa. Shout out Ben Jacobson and company. Kansas will take on Cal Baptist in the 4-13 matchup. Your 6-11 matchup is Louisville against South Florida. The 3 seed, the East, Michigan State will take on the Summit League champion, 14 seed, North Dakota State. UCLA will take on UCF in the 7-10 matchup. And the 2-15 matchup will be between UConn and Furman. And Furman had won the SoCon. Is that
Yes,
the
they
correct
did.
comp? Okay, so yeah. Just wanted to make sure I got the conference right. Because I know they won the tournament. Yeah. So, I mean, this region, I feel like Duke, they kind of got screwed a little bit. Because the winner of that Ohio State TCU game can give Duke some fits.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people believe that TCU can make a run to Sweet 16 if they are able to knock off Duke, because I believe Duke's top point guard is out, I believe, for us for the rest of the season.
Yeah, he had a foot surgery. I saw it on Instagram. It was announced by head coach John Shire that Caleb Foster will be out after he recently had foot surgery.
And with the way TCU has been playing in the last month and a half, TCU could definitely be one of the many Big 12 teams that can make a deep run in March.
Yeah, and I mean, Ohio State could, honestly, I think the winner of that game has a fighting chance against Duke. Because, I mean, Bruce Thorne literally dragged Ohio State to this game. And you know, Bruce Thorne, like, he got the scoring record for Ohio State. It's his senior year, it's his final year, so he wants to have a march to remember. So why not do it by beating the number 1 overall team and seeded Duke?
Yes.
Yep. All those matchups will be taking place in Greenville, South Carolina on Thursday, March 19th. And then we head to San Diego, California for the Friday matchups in the East region. Number 5, mentioned number 5, St. John's taking on the Missouri Valley champion, number 12, Northern Iowa. A part of me, just for the meme, just wants to pick Northern Iowa.
Yeah, unfortunately, if this were another 5 seed that I felt like they had a good chance against, then I would say yes. But this is the wrong 5 seed.
Yeah.
St. John's had like Ejiofor, I think, on the glass is going to dominate. I think this is a 5 seed that nobody really wants to see.
The only reason I say that is because there's the potential for Kansas to match up against Northern Iowa again.
Oh man, Vietnam flashbacks.
Ali Farouk Mensa is somewhere, like his spirit lays somewhere for Kansas.
Yeah.
That they're like, are you? No.
Ali you mean Ali Farouk Manish? Yeah.
Manish, yep. But I mean, I think Kansas is going to take out Cal Baptist, and I mean, Bill Self versus Rick Pitino. That would be a fun coach-up matchup.
Yeah, honestly, I think the question for me is Cody, what Kansas team is going to show up? Like, is it the Kansas team that we've seen a few times at home this year that beat Arizona without Darren Peterson, or the team that destroyed Iowa State at home? Because that Kansas.
Big Monday, like Big Monday,
yes.
Kansas versus not Big Monday, Kansas. That's the best way you can describe it. There's something about Kansas under Bill Self playing on Big Monday that they literally look like a national contender, but every other day of the week, not exactly.
Because to me, it's like they could either lose this game or they could make a run all the way to the Final Four. Like, yeah. I don't know what to believe. I think they'll win this one, but after that, I have no idea.
Yeah. So outside of that, I mean, yeah, that's like kind of like your top half of the East region. I mean, going to the bottom half of the East region, the 6-11 match between Louisville and South Florida. I think some people are kind of high on South Florida.
I'm gonna go with Louisville in this one. I know, like yes, South Florida is a high scoring team, but I don't think that they can defend. I think Louisville has more horses offensively.
Yeah.
Whatever the total is, take the over in Louisville, South Florida. I think Louisville wins.
Yeah. I did kind of pick South Florida for the upset, but yeah, I would definitely take the over in this game, whatever it is. And then Michigan State, they're going to take care of North Dakota State. It's no doubt. I mean,
I agree.
Even for how up and down Michigan State's been, they are going to take care of business. UCLA and UCF. This is going to be an interesting matchup.
It sure is. Isn't UCLA missing somebody significant?
UCF men's. I'm taking a look here.
Or I meant to say UCLA, not UCF.
Donovan Dent, I Bleav, is kind of the player. Like that's the thing for UCLA is will they have Donovan Dent? Because if they do not have him, I can see UCF winning that game.
And then to round out, we have UConn versus Furman.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, UConn they're going to take care of business, but I will say this: I Bleav if it's UCLA UConn, UCLA is winning that game.
I can see that, yeah.
All right. So I mean, yep, that's the East region for you. Kind of just the first round previews. Kind of the first round preview. And I guess we could just go ahead. I mean, I would have Duke. Let's see, we have Duke advance to Sweet 16. They go up against. I would go St. John's, and then it'd be. Are you going Michigan State or Louisville?
Michigan State.
Same. And then yeah, I mentioned UCLA going to the Sweet 16 in the East.
Yeah, I have my Sweet 16 is Michigan State, UConn, and Duke versus St. John's, and then my Elite Eight, I have Duke versus Michigan State.
I was kind of bold and said Northern Iowa going to the Sweet 16 to take on Duke.
Hey, if it pulls that way, it could happen.
Yeah, I think Northern Iowa can find a way because if they play the way they did in Arch Madness, that's a real possibility. Trey Campbell and Ben Jacobs and company, especially Trey Campbell. I'm believing Northern Iowa. I know I'm a Drake fan, and I hate to see that, but you know what? It's March Madness. Anything can happen, and I really think Northern Iowa matchup against Kansas. It's going to be Trey Campbell being the reincarnation Ali Farouk Mensah.
Yeah, I mean, look, bro. If they can dictate the tempo, because that's what Northern Iowa wants to do, and play a slower type of game, and can somehow like win the battle on the glass, it's gonna be hard to do against Eshiffer and on their big front line. I mean, yeah, Northern I could see a way where Northern I could make a run to the Sweet 16.
Yeah. All right, so we're gonna head from the East region to the West region. Arizona taking on Long Island. Fins up, but sorry, Long Island. Arizona's gonna run away with this game, and then I'm gonna have Utah State take out Villanova. Seeing Utah State, it might be on my bucket list. So like, there's only one reason I'd ever go to Logan, Utah, and it's go check out a Utah State game.
Right.
Yep. And then Wisconsin High Point take the over in this game. Smash the over in this game. These are two high-powered offenses, and it doesn't matter who wins this game. A lot of points going to be scored. Arkansas against Hawaii. That one. I think a conventional thought, like my gut says, like there's something about Hawaii. I'm just like, you know what? Rainbow Warriors winning this game. BYU taking on NC State or Texas. BYU is probably going to play NC State, and they're going to win that game. Daga's going to take care of Kennesaw State. Miami is going to beat Missouri, and then Purdue is going to beat Queens. That's kind of my first round matchup.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Missouri is basically going to be playing a home game in St. Louis. I mean, if you are like upset minded, you can see Missouri just based on the facts that they can make a run. And with the way Purdue has been this year, even though they won the Big Ten Conference tournament, you could see it was a way where Purdue loses in the round of 32. But I don't have Purdue losing in that my personal bracket. We're gonna go after that after we preview all these. We're gonna do and give our thoughts on that. So, but yeah, I guess what are some matchups that intrigue you in the West?
Ooh. If it happens to the Sweet 16, give me Arizona, Wisconsin.
Yes, man. I mean, Wisconsin's offense versus just Arizona's front line and just their guards, that would be an interest. And Wisconsin has two great guards.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Blackwell and Boyd. One of my close buddies, he loves those two on Wisconsin. So I mean, if Wisconsin gets hot, they could go to the Elite Eight.
I think they could see that.
Yeah, if they get hot at this time, they could potentially be upset in mind against Arizona. So that could be a possibility. But I mean, another team that is that could go on a run is BYU. If Debansa, he's gonna literally drag BYU to the Elite Eight if it falls that way.
Bro, I'm saying, man, you can see it. I can see it.
Yeah. So I mean, that would be kind of the West region. I mean, it's Arizona's to lose certainly, but I mean, if they match up against BYU in the Elite Eight. I don't know, man. I mean, BYU's been competitive with Arizona, and I mean, there's an old saying that it's hard to beat a team 3 times in the same year.
I'm telling you, man.
Like, this is an opportunity for AJ Debansa to go on a legacy run in March.
And for Arizona, like you have to, this has got to be the year to make it to the Final Four.
Please.
Like it's been almost 30 years for them.
Their drought to the Final Four as long as our drought to the Elite Eight,
Yeah.
which is crazy to say. And I mean, speaking of Iowa State, we can head down to the Midwest region where Michigan is the number 1 seed in this region, and they're going to take on the winner of Howard UMBC. Michigan, I have Michigan winning that game.
I
It's
do
just kind of
too.
chalk. St. Louis against Georgia. I like the Bilkins. Give me the Bilkins. Give me
Give me
Kareem
the
Abdul-Jabbar in this game.
Yeah.
Texas Tech versus Akron. From what I understand, like in my limited viewing of Akron, they're kind of like a Texas Tech. So I'll tell you this: if you're in this, if like we talked about the Wisconsin High Point game, bet the over because this team, like those two teams, are just gonna chuck up threes. Like it's the only shot that's allowed in a basketball game.
Honestly, I think in this one is going to depend on which Texas Tech team shows up. If it's the one where they shot at Hilton, they could definitely make a run to the Sweet 16. But if it's the one they played, the Iowa State they played
In
against
Kansas City,
in Kansas City, then they're going to lose to Akron. Akron was the most consistent team in the MAC,
yeah.
going 17-1. So I mean, Akron is 29-5 for a reason.
Yep, and I mean they were right behind Miami of Ohio in the MAC. Alabama and Hofstra. So we are recording this after the breaking news for Alabama. Aiden Holloway was arrested and he is facing felony charges for possession of marijuana, and it was another charge, but that's a breaking news. Like that was breaking, and I know a lot of people definitely flipped their pick from Alabama to Hofstra. Me personally, I had Hofstra beating Alabama before the news
Mm-hmm.
broke. So I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I saw, I saw the vision before everybody else
You
did.
saw the vision.
Yep. So I think a lot of people are going to be putting Hofstra to go get the upset over Alabama in the 4-13 game. The number 60 Tennessee will take on either SMU or Miami, Ohio. Who do you have in that game? SMU or Miami, Ohio?
I think Miami of Ohio wins it, but
Tennessee will
Tennessee
advance.
will advance. Yeah.
All right, so we are at and then they'll take on the winner of Virginia Wright State, Virginia the 3 seed. And Tyler, you mentioned something about Virginia. Why don't you have the floor for this
Yes. So
mini segment?
it's crazy that we talked about UMBC. UMBC is back in the tournament, and you want to remember when they beat Virginia by 20. At the time, the coach was Tony Bennett, and now and the coach, Virginia's current coach was UMBC's coach back then. So now it's coming full circle that the UMBC head coach is now the head coach of Virginia now, and Virginia is not the same Virginia, guys. So Virginia is not defensive minded. They like to score the basket. Um,
All right.
a lot has been put into question about if Virginia's schedule really was actually even that good, since the ACC really wasn't that challenging to begin with. So everybody's maybe questioning if Virginia's 29-5 record is really valid. Obviously, they hung in there with Virginia in the title game, although they got destroyed by them earlier in the year
against
at
Duke.
Cameron Indoor. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean they did hang with Duke, but yeah, I think Virginia, I think they're bound. Like I see them going to the Sweet 16. I like them over Tennessee. Tennessee's just kind of been up and down on the year.
Yeah, I agree.
Yep, and then in St. Louis on Friday, number 7 Kentucky taking on Santa Clara. Santa Clara out of the West Coast Conference. And your 2-seeded Iowa State Cyclones will be taking on the Ohio Valley Conference champion, number 15 seed, Tennessee State. Now, in this Tennessee State game, Tennessee State is known for the main thing I took away from them. I think their metrics was they turn you over a lot, but they also they don't take care of the basketball.
They don't, and that falls into what Iowa State wants to do. I think if obviously this isn't a game where Iowa State can play around, because this is a game where Iowa State could lose. I don't think that will happen, though. I think Iowa State, look, TJ and Iowa State are very, very confident this year. He even mentioned and brought up the Final Four. They know that a deep run this will a deep run for them could be considered a successful season. So they know what they
Yeah.
need to do. I think they'll do it. And obviously we saw the spread now. I think is at like what up to 25
25 and a
now.
half. Yeah. I think
Yeah.
it opened up 23 and a half, and then it's been opened up a bit. But it is funny seeing, like, I love Iowa State fans. We found any reason to to take this game personal, and it's because some people are like have the Iowa State being one of the being like a 215 upset, and we're just like, I love that from us. It's like we find any reason to get bulletin board material, but I mean, people have given us that. Some people are picking Tennessee State to beat Iowa State, and all of that is like one as the 215 upset. We're all just like, all right, say less.
It's just, I think it's just, look, and I'll tell you why. It's because Iowa State losing to an HBCU, and as you know, Tennessee State is an HBCU. If you didn't know,
Mhm.
so there was an HBCU supporter that
Yeah.
I quote tweeted saying that, oh, Iowa State's going to lose to another one, and just everybody thinks that we're fraudulent. Just forgetting that like 5 days, like 4 or 5 days ago, we went toe to toe with Arizona.
Arizona
So
on a
now you think
neutral-
we're gonna lose? Yeah, like,
Yes.
and now you think we're gonna lose to Tennessee State?
Okay,
Get out
listen.
of here with that.
Like us losing to Hampton, that did not happen in my lifetime. I learned about that, but I'm like, okay, let's be real. It was weird that we were even in Boise, Idaho. First of all, that was one of
That's
my
an
Tori
bro.
Taman tweeted that he was like, "Why were we even playing that game in Boise, Idaho, of all places?"
I'm telling you, man, it makes no sense. Not to mention, we're also defensive minded, and this team has a much better culture than the Larry Eustacia team did.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I mean, TJ Osbergen isn't out here getting caught at like a U of Missouri sorority party or something.
facts. So, like, I mean, yeah, no, I'm
All
not
right, let's
worried
be
about
real.
that
Like,
game.
if we okay, you know what? I'm not even gonna like say it. We're winning this game, okay? We are winning this game. We are commanding this game, and then we're gonna match up. I'm gonna say it. Santa Clara can be Kentucky. Santa Clara can be Kentucky.
And I think, and I think also this is going to be another popular thing because people see Kentucky, and I think everybody will get scared of the size and just the
Yeah,
potential of what Kentucky need to
yeah.
do. But Kentucky has went 4-6 in their last 10 games. Kentucky hasn't looked good at all. They've been consistently inconsistent the
Mm-hmm.
entire year.
Mm-hmm.
Santa Clara has some size that could be a detriment to Iowa State, but I do think Iowa State is good enough. Like Plata and Buchanan are definitely gonna have to come and play, but I do think that they'll be able to do that,
Yeah.
and I think
Also,
having them advancing.
yeah, but I think the main I don't think it's the size and like the length of teams that beat Iowa State. It's teams that can make jump shots. It's teams that
Right.
can like make us pay for our slow rotations, who can make the wide open, make the extra pass, get the wide open three, and make them. Those are the teams that beat us, and it also means that you're gonna have like really, really elite level guards. And I just don't see it with Kentucky. I don't think they have the guards that are the type that can beat Iowa State. So
I don't either.
I'm
Same
not.
with same with
Yeah, and I know people can think Kentucky like it's the name, it's a recognizable brand, but this isn't the same Kentucky that had Anthony Davis that won the national title with Calipari that went 30 that went undefeated going into the Final Four about what 11 years ago. This isn't the same
yes.
Kentucky from those years, the ones that I grew up watching that were like me as a kid. That's not the Kentucky team that this is. So for me, I have us beating whether it's Kentucky, whether it's Santa Clara, bring it on. We're winning that game, and then we're on to the Sweet 16. And I'm saying it right now, we're taking on Virginia, and I believe Iowa State can beat Virginia. We finally, for the first time in my lifetime, go to the Elite Eight.
Yeah, I think we'll be in the Elite Eight. As soon as we do that, we're gonna make our picks for each game,
Yep, and then
then figure out our Final Four and our national champion.
Yep. And then we finally head over to the South region. This is your Florida Gators region. So now the floor is yours for this region.
All right, thanks, Cody. Florida, the last took the last number one seed. Florida facing off against either Lehigh or Prairie View A&M. Clemson and Iowa that's going to be an interesting matchup. We have McNeese State making it back for another consecutive year. facing off against Vanderbilt. I could totally see McNeese pulling off another 12-5 upset. They beat Clemson last year. I could see it with Vanderbilt. But and then you have number 4 Nebraska facing off against Troy and Oklahoma City. Number 6 North Carolina Tar Heels face off against VCU. The number 3 seed, the Illinois Fighting Illini, facing off against the fighting Fran
Quakers.
McCaffrey's. Yeah,
Frank
the fighting
McCaffrey
Fran
and the Quakers.
McCaffrey Penn Quakers. A lot. See, no, I have seen people put this as an upset as Penn defeating Illinois. I don't know if that's going to happen. I can see it. St. Mary in an interesting 7-10 matchup. St. Mary's facing off against Texas A&M, and at the bottom of the bracket, Houston facing off against Idaho.
Yeah, about Illinois Penn. Fun fact for those we mentioned Fran McCaffrey. The last game, and he obviously was at Iowa prior to taking the Penn job. His last game as the Iowa head coach before he got fired was against Illinois in the Big Ten tournament, and he got ejected from that game.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it was like with 9 minutes to go, Iowa was only down like single digits, so they were in the game. But Fran McCaffrey picked up 2 technical fouls in the same dead balls period, and he got ejected. And that was the last thing. That was the last time Big Ten fans saw Fran McCaffrey in the conference, was him getting ejected from the game against Illinois. So I wonder if maybe some of that is why they're playing into the Penn, potentially upsetting Illinois. You know, Fran McCaffrey loved nothing more than to beat Illinois.
For sure, for sure.
Yeah. And also,
I think, yeah.
go. Yeah, and then you go ahead.
And, the Clemson Iowa matchup is going to be interesting. I do think I do have the Hawks beating Clemson, but I think they're going to get belt to ass in Florida's backyard. Because Tampa's not that far from Gainesville, and I think Florida, basically in a home front of a home crowd, Iowa's going to get belt to ass by Florida.
I mean, to be fair, Iowa fans are used to playing postseason ball in Tampa.
Exactly. So it's a yearly tradition for them.
Yep. And then Nebraska. I mean, this has been the one thing that has eaten up Nebraska fans alive is they've never won an NCAA tournament game. And I mean, they've got a prime opportunity to do it. But some people are thinking Troy can beat Nebraska.
I don't see that happening. I think I have Nebraska advancing in this.
Yeah. And then I have VCU beating North Carolina. North Carolina's without Caleb Wilson. And I mean, North Carolina's been up and down. It's just their 3-point shooting isn't there. So I can see VCU. And I really have a second round matchup consisting of VCU and Penn. How about that?
That would be the funniest thing if Illinois bows out in the first round.
Yeah, that would be funny. But yeah, I mean, that's just the bracket preview. I mean, we alluded to it a little bit earlier. So, yeah, I mean, we can go down our personal brackets. I mean, I've got mine ready to go. I don't know about you, but I'm ready to go whenever. So I've got to load it up.
Yeah. So, here, I'm going to load mine up. I'm going to go back and go to ESPN because I have that one.
Yep. So while you load that up, I guess I'll... well, yeah, you're there, so... Oh, yeah, I have that. I mean, I've got mine, and I literally just... okay, so... This has been a debate. I know Chris Williams talks about this. Are you the kind of guy that makes more than one bracket for March Madness, or are you just a one bracket and done kind of guy?
Oh no, I'd make multiple brackets, dude. There's gotta be an emotional hedge bracket. Like,
yeah,
you got to. All right, so here's mine, and this is also for a one I put in for a bracket challenge.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so here's what I got. So I have Duke over Siena. I have TCU over Ohio State. I have St. John's over UNI. KU over Cal Baptist. Louisville over South Florida. Michigan State over North Dakota State. UCLA over UCF. UConn over Furman. As we go to, and I'll just do the whole entire thing for the East bracket, and then I'll do the same thing corresponding. And then I have Duke beating TCU, St. John's beating in a battle of legendary coaches, Bill Self versus Pitino. Pitino wins that, so I have Duke and St. John's in the Sweet 16. I have Louisville losing to Michigan State, and then UConn advancing, so Michigan State, UConn, and Duke versus St. John's in the Sweet 16. And then in my Elite Eight is Duke versus Michigan State. I think that Michigan State this is Izzo's time of the year. Izzo takes the Spartans to the Elite Eight. I actually have Michigan State advancing over Duke to the Final Four.
All right.
So yeah,
Yep.
so Michigan State is in my Final Four. All right, and I also here we go. For the West bracket, Arizona over Long Island, Utah State over Villanova. I have High Point upsetting Wisconsin, Arkansas beating Hawaii. I have BYU beating Texas or NC State, Gonzaga beating Kennesaw. I have Mizzou upsetting Miami and Purdue beating Queens. In my round 32, Arizona over Utah State. I have Arkansas over High Point, BYU over Gonzaga, and then Purdue over Mizzou. Sweet 16, I have BYU Purdue, and I think BYU beats Purdue, and it sets up a matchup for Arizona and BYU in the Elite Eight. I have Arizona advancing to the Final Four. As we go down, in the Midwest bracket, Michigan over the 16 seed, St. Louis over Georgia. I have Akron upsetting Tech, Bama making it to have Bama making it to face Akron, Tennessee beating either Miami, Ohio, or SMU, Virginia over Wright State, Kentucky over Santa Clara, and Iowa State over Tennessee State. I have Iowa State beating Kentucky, and then Tennessee beating Virginia. So I have Tennessee making it to the Sweet 16 against Iowa State. And then I have Michigan and Alabama. So Michigan advances and Iowa State advances. And then I have Iowa State edging out with Michigan to go to the Final Four. And then finally in the South region, Houston over Idaho, A&M over St. Mary's. I have Illinois over Penn, North Carolina over VCU, Nebraska over Troy, Vanderbilt over McNeese. I have Iowa, the Hawks, and Florida. Florida puts belt to ass to Iowa. And then I have a SEC matchup in the Sweet 16, Florida and Vandy. And on the bottom, I have Illinois beating North Carolina. So we have Houston, Illinois, and Vanderbilt, Florida. I have Florida advancing to the Elite Eight against Houston. And then I have Florida making it to the Final Four. So my Final Four, I have Michigan State versus Florida and Arizona, Iowa State. And you know what? Screw it. I'm gonna emotionally hedge this one, and I'll tell you why. Because I'm going off of the theory that it is hard to beat a team 3 times. Iowa State will be on the right side of a buzzer beater, this time by a Milan Mancelovic 3. And this is going to be basically a win-win situation for me. And Iowa State and Florida play each other in the national title game. Unfortunately, I think we fall short, but Florida wins the national championship, goes back to back for the first time since 2006, 2007. And this is a team that I would gladly lose to. Obviously, as y'all know, I'm a big Florida fan too. So this would be a win-win situation for me.
Yeah.
Although Florida is my national championship. Yeah. So
all right. So,
that's mine.
All right.
And I will share you so you can. I'll stop sharing so you can share yours.
All right. So my turn. So my bracket's a little bit. So I'm gonna have to cue this up a little bit. Maybe you saw the spoilers, but in the East region, I have Duke and TCU advancing. They'll play each other in the round of 32. Northern Iowa with the upset over St. John's. They will take on Kansas in the round of 32. South Florida, I'm also upsetting mine in the 11-6 game. South Florida over Louisville. Michigan State over North Dakota State. UCLA gets the win over UCF, and then UConn beats Furman. I have UCLA pulling off the upset over UConn, so they advance to the Sweet 16. They will take on a fellow Big Ten member, Michigan State, in the Sweet 16, as I have the Spartans beating South Florida. And then I've got Northern Iowa going to the Sweet 16. Kansas once again gets terrorized by a Northern Iowa player, this time Trey Campbell. And Northern Iowa will take on Duke in the Sweet 16. And then my Elite 8 out of the East it's Duke, Michigan State, and I have Duke advancing to the Final Four.
Okay, so what's your Final Four?
I'll get to that. About to get to the other regions. Have Arizona and Utah State advancing to the round of 32. Arizona will win that game, go to the Sweet 16. Swap your pick for High Point, Wisconsin, as I have the Badgers beating High Point, and then I have Hawaii pulling off the upset over Arkansas.
Rainbow
and then I have,
Warriors, okay.
Yeah, yep. And then Wisconsin will continue the hot shooting and go to the Sweet 16 to take on Arizona. BYU will beat whoever they play, whether it's NC State or Texas. Those two teams really, I think Agent advanced. So this is time for him to go on a run. And then Gonzaga over Kennesaw State. And then I do have Miami beating Mizzou and Purdue over Queens.
Okay.
I am leaning Gonzaga. I think Gonzaga will show up here and they're able to find a way to take care of AJ DeBonsa. Well, I mean, they're going to let AJ DeBonsa do his thing, but they're going to limit everybody else. So I think Gonzaga has more guys that can produce than BYU does. And then I have Purdue beating Miami. And then I mentioned it, Wisconsin, Arizona will be the Sweet 16 in the West region. And I have Arizona and Purdue advancing to the Elite Eight in that region. And then I have Arizona going to the Final Four out of the West.
Okay.
Yep. Heading down to the Midwest, I have Michigan advancing, beating UMBC or Howard. However, that will play out. They will take on St. Louis. I'll have the Billikens beating Georgia to advance to the round of 32. And then here's where some of the chaos happens. I have Akron and Hofstra both pulling off upsets in this region. Akron beating Texas Tech and Hofstra beating Alabama. And then in the bottom half of the region, I have Tennessee beating Miami of Ohio. Miami of Ohio will advance, but Tennessee will beat Miami of Ohio. And then I have Virginia beating Wright State. I have Santa Clara pulling off the 7-10 upset, and they will take on Iowa State, who will take care of Tennessee State and advance to the round of 32. Then I have Virginia and Iowa State advancing to the Sweet 16. And then I'm just saying, Blake Buchanan, this is a bit of a poll, but it's a Blake Buchanan revenge game for him as he came from Virginia. So how about that? And then I have Akron going to the Sweet 16 to take on the Wolverines of Michigan.
Wow.
Yeah. So, I mean, I have that. I do like Akron's consistency. I think that will be a factor in how they can get to Sweet 16. But they'll ultimately get brickwalled by Yaxel, Lennonborg, and the Michigan Wolverines. And then in the Elite Eight, it's Michigan, Iowa State, and Iowa State advances to the Final Four.
So it's going to feel like 44.
Yes, that hashtag is going around. It's going to feel like 44. Beautiful. All right. And then finally to the South region, I have Florida beating, I'm gonna get out a shout out to HBCU, Prairie View A&M. They're gonna play, and then to clarify, excuse me. Prairie View will beat Lehigh to face off against Florida, but Florida will win that game. I also have Iowa beating Clemson, Vanderbilt over McNeese, Nebraska over Troy, VCU with an 11-6 upset over North Carolina. And then I do have Penn. I watched their game, the Ivy League championship game. TJ Power can match. TJ Power is going to have a legacy run here in March Madness, and they're going to take down the 3 seed Fighting Illini. And then I have...
You have Penn going to the Sweet 16?
Yeah, I'll get to that in a second.
Wow.
St. Mary's and Houston will advance to the round of 32, where I have Houston advancing to the Sweet 16, where they will take on Penn. Nope. And I have Nebraska going to the final Sweet 16, against Florida. And then in the Elite Eight, it's Florida, Houston, and I also took the Gators to go to the Final Four. So my Final Four is Duke, Florida, and then Arizona, Iowa State. I have Florida and Iowa State, also like you, advancing to the national championship, but I'm rolling with the Cyclones in the national championship game.
Oh my gosh. I don't, okay. Cody, if we win a national championship in basketball, I honestly don't know how I will act.
Dude,
I think I might cry tears of joy.
You cry tears of joy, and you're gonna instantaneously somehow book a flight up to Ames, and we're gonna go on Welch Avenue and celebrate.
I'm driving to Ames. What the heck? Oh yeah, I'm partying. Oh yeah.
I forget. Yeah, you're only a few hours. So yeah, come on down to Welch Ave. We're gonna just go crazy on mugs, and I mean that whole week I'm gonna hope that Iowa State. If Iowa State wins the national title, I hope David Cook cancels school that whole week because we can just party.
So
Okay.
basically, we're gonna make it we're gonna make it an unofficial Visha.
Yes, the unofficial Visha. But I mean, it's a fever dream, but you know what? If there's a year to Iowa State to not only crack to the Elite Eight, but go back to the Final Four for the first time since '44, and finally win a national championship in basketball, it's this year. I like
This
our
has got to be the
chances.
year. I'll say this, Cody. I'll say this, and I don't think that it's an unfair thing to say, but I think that this has got to be the year that they make a deep run. Like
Mm-hmm.
anything less than an Elite Eight, and I know people are going to think that that's crazy, but anything, if we don't make an Elite Eight appearance, it's going to be a disappointing season.
Yeah, I think
I'll tell you that.
especially the draw. I think this draw is very favorable to Iowa State.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, the only teams that I think really like they give us problems are like really good guards, but we wouldn't really see that until the Elite Eight
Yes, like
because
yeah,
because it would be well, and even then the only team that has the athletic guards that can beat us is Texas Tech.
right,
But we showed that
and
we
that's
can beat Texas Tech. So
right.
and outside of Yaxel Lenenborg, I mean, Michigan, they got really good like sides. They got Eddie Amar and Lenborg, but the guards, I think Iowa State's guards are better than Michigan's guards.
They're a lot better than Michigan's guards.
Torrey and Lipsy are gonna like. I mean, this is probably gonna be bookmark if a Michigan fan somehow listen to this, but Torrey and Lipsy are gonna eat up Elliot Cadeau. They're gonna pick his pocket so many times.
And I certain and this is sort of a revenge spot just based on the facts that in the players era we got disqualified before because of the because we
The
would have
margin of
seen this
victory.
in, yeah, we would have seen this in November, but we'll be able to see this at the end of March.
No, that's fine with me. Yeah, but I mean, it's March. I'm excited. But real quick, also, I have to really shout out the women's bracket because this also got revealed right after the men's bracket. The Iowa State women ended up as the 8th seed, and they're going to play Syracuse in the first round. But you want to guess who their second round opponent would be?
Unfortunately, it's UConn.
Boy. And this is a women's tournament. So in the women's tournament, the top seed gets the host through the Final Four.
Boy,
or something
Stores,
like that.
Connecticut. Oh god.
Oh god. I feel bad for the ladies.
I do too.
I mean,
thanks for coming.
But like, I listen. I'll say this: if there's a way for the ladies to pull off the upset over UConn, it's going to require us to play like the 14-0 team that we were in non-con, the one that beat Iowa at home, the one that had everybody clicking, everybody was healthy. Addie Brown was at her best, Audie's at her best, the whole team was at their best. So if we can get that Iowa State women's basketball team, we have a chance. I'm not saying we're going to win that game, but I mean, at least we'll make it competitive. So
you're saying there's a chance?
Yeah, don't give us an inch to breathe because if they do, we'll find a way to make it pay. And that would be the craziest story if Iowa State was able to go to the Sweet 16 by beating UConn in Stores.
Hey, I mean, look, their freshman year, they almost did it to Cameron Brink and Stanford.
That's the thing that disappoints me. It's like ever since that, Iowa State has gone back-to-back years from going top 10 to barely making the tournament. So that's the thing. That's been the frustrating thing. Watching the women's team is like they have the talent, but they just cannot put it together for one reason or another. But I guess the good thing is we do get them for one more year because Addie Brown, Audie Crooks, and Ariana Jackson, those three, and Jada Williams, all four of them are going to come back for another year because they're all juniors. So, I mean, I don't know. But, I mean, this is women's basketball, and I mean, outside of the top 5 teams, it's just a mosh pit of, because there's a significant gap from Tier 2 to Tier 1. In women's basketball.
Oh yeah, definitely in women's basketball. There is more. There's a lot less parity in that game than the men's.
Yeah.
All right, Cody. Thank you guys for continuing to tune in to the Bleav in Iowa State podcast. We appreciate your guys' support. Few games before we go. Make sure to keep up with what's going on with us on Twitter. I'm Tyler. I can be found at SideTieGuy. If you want to find Cody on Twitter, it's not Tierney's Birder, but TJ's Ankle Boot. TJ's Ankle Boot.
I might have to Photoshop TJ Altenberger wearing one of them, along with the tight polo and shorts. Like, like, remember what Jay Billis was talking about, like, them visiting Iowa State when we were playing Kansas?
Yes.
What was it, last season? He just rolled up in shorts. It's like, yeah, that's very Iowa.
Yeah, it's very, very Iowa. Also, if you want to continue to see what we're doing on social media, follow us on Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and Twitch. Also, lastly, a big thanks to our presenting sponsor, FanDuel. Make sure you get those parlays in for March Madness or futures bets on. You can bet on the winners of each region and the Final Four.
Yeah, and I mean, speaking of the Final Four, Iowa State on FanDuel is a plus 800 bet to go to the Final Four and a plus 1800 bet to win the national championship. So, I think that's a bargain if you ask me.
That is a bargain. Those are hella good odds.
So yeah, if you're really like leaving in Iowa State, no pun intended, then yeah, those are really good value bets right there.
Yes, they are.
Please make
All
them separately,
right.
by the way.
Yeah, make them separately, bet responsibly, and as always, like the title, Bleav in Iowa State. And that is going to be the end of the show for Tyler Carter.
And Cody Van Seelen.
This is the Bleav in Iowa State podcast. Roll clones, baby.
Go Cyclones. We're going to the Final Four and we're winning natty.
Yes, we're going to the Final Four.